Thanks, Rita, and welcome to the Late Look North. Good evening, I'm Megan Patterson. Families and former patients who say they were failed by a North East Health Trust hope a public inquiry will finally provide truth, justice and accountability. Last month, Health Secretary Wes Streeting announced a public inquiry into the Tees, Esk and Wear Valleys Trust. He said it would uncover failures in care and look at the concerning number of patient deaths by suicide over the past 10 years. Tonight, around 50 families have been meeting to discuss the issues they want the public inquiry to address. A warning, Stuart Wincup's report deals with some difficult issues.
Kate says she was haunted by her time as a patient at West Lane Hospital.
The things that I've seen and heard, I'll never ever get over, and I'll never ever be able to accept them.
A critical report described West Lane as chaotic, unstable and unsafe. Kate said her own health rapidly deteriorated while her incidence of self-harm increased.
I've now got significant scars all over my body. So when I'm trying to think of the rest of my life, my wedding day, having children, I've got to then think about, having these scars on my body, which is going to impact the rest of my life.
Last month, the Health Secretary Wes Streeting said there had been a concerning number of patient deaths by suicide at the Tees, Esk and Wear Valleys Trust over the last 10 years. And a public inquiry will focus on uncovering failures in care.
There are far too many examples of not just negligence and failure, unavoidable harm and loss of life, and that unimaginable grief that these families are going through is the culture of cover-up.
In a statement, the Trust says it will fully support the public inquiry process with transparency, openness and humility. It says it's committed to listening, reflecting and taking meaningful action to ensure it continually improves as an organisation. And its deepest sympathies remain with the families who lost loved ones while in the care of the Trust. Kate says the constant support from her family helped her turn her life around. She says she's happy and now has a full-time job, but she can't understand why action wasn't taken sooner.
It's all coming out now, but what about when we were actually suffering for it? What about the girls that have now lost their lives and the other people that have lost their lives? This shouldn't be coming out years later. Things that were reported should have been dealt with immediately, but for whatever reason, it was just ignored and it's cost lives.
And if you've been affected by that story, you can find information and advice on the BBC Action Line. The details you can see on your screen now. 5 people, including 4 teenagers, have appeared before a judge at Teesside Crown Court accused of murder and violent disorder after a man died in a collision at a petrol station. Daniel Ambler died at a service station in Seaham last Thursday. He was 23. 51-year-old Barry Anderson and 19-year-old Ashton Anderson from Easington Colliery appeared via video link with 18-year-old Barry Logan Anderson from Peterlee. 2 17-year-old boys were in court for the hearing. No pleas were entered and all 5 were remanded in custody. Plans for a major development in the Lake District National Park have been stopped over doubts it could meet a timetable needed to secure grant support. The Windermere Gateway project aimed to boost tourism, employment and affordable housing provision. The local council had agreed an almost £10 million funding deal with the government for highways work. Those behind the development, including the National Trust and the local council, say they remain fully committed to the project. Our region remains one of the few locations in England where red squirrels still thrive. Pushed to the brink of extinction in many parts by grey squirrels, reds are still very much part of the landscape in the Lake District and in areas of Northumberland. Today, on Red Squirrel Appreciation Day, campaigners are urging people to support their Change.org petition. Football now, and Newcastle United secured a Champions League last 16 playoff spot after a comfortable 3-0 victory over Dutch champions PSV Eindhoven at St James's Park tonight. Adam Powell reports.
Territory for the club, so would nerves get the better of Newcastle? Anthony Gordon may have spurned this early chance, but it was Johan Wissa with the composure to slot home his first goal in 5 games. Just before the half hour, a PSV error saw Wisser pounce, with Anthony Gordon scoring his 6th Champions League goal. Skipper Bruno Guimaraes was a second-half spectator as the Magpies pushed for a third. In the end, it was late goal specialist Harvey Barnes who put the game beyond PSV with this solo effort just after the hour mark.
And in the Championship, Middlesbrough fought back at Stoke City, securing a 2-1 win and moving back into second place in the table. Time now for the weather. Here's Paul Mooney.
Good evening. As we head through the next few days, there'll be plenty of cloud around, outbreaks of rain, maybe a little bit of hill snow as things turn a bit cooler and the winds pick up at times. Overnight tonight, certainly a lot of cloud around, bits and pieces of rain in eastern areas at first, but patchy rain just about anywhere through the night. A lot of cloud, quite gusty winds as well, so temperatures no lower than about 5 or 6 Celsius. Tomorrow that wind picks up further, still a lot of cloud around, still outbreaks of rain, some drier interludes at times as we head through the middle part of the day, but the rain's never that far away. Those gusty winds in excess of 40 miles an hour at times, the gusts and temperatures peak around about 8 degrees Celsius, so a little bit cooler, and that trend to something cooler continues as we head through Friday and into the weekend. Patchy rain, gusty winds for many, a little bit of snow on the hilltops.
That's it from us. Your next update tomorrow at breakfast. Bye for now.